Welcome to this special review on Monster Manor. This is taking a look at the new NECA Frankenstein Ultimate action figure. These are available now at Walmart. It is an exclusive to Walmart, at least for the time being, with it being the color version of this famous Universal monster. And as you can see on the sides of the box, it has great pictures of the monster. On the back, it has several different photos of the actual figure inside. Beautiful logo on the top, the Universal approved. And then, of course, on the front, you have a nice matte and gloss look to that, similar to some others of the Universal, or the other NECA figures that they've put out. But again, this is the important thing, is that this one says on the front, Ultimate Frankenstein's Monster. And this is officially licensed by Universal. So on the inside, when you open up the flap, has the standard Velcro closure. See a beautiful shot of the monster itself here. And then on this side, I'm going to try to get it without the glare, but we will take a better look at the figure out of the package. But you can see that you have 3 different heads to choose from, 3 different sets of hands, the flowers, the shackles, and presumably some sort of back set piece that you could actually use if you wanted to display your piece. But that is what it will look like when you see it in your electronics section at Walmart. And right now they have this at my local one on the end cap section if you are looking. So this is the figure out of the box. First thing you notice is the amazing detail on the face sculpt. The sculpt on this was done by Trevor and Kyle Windrix over at NECA, with Randy presiding over the work. And it is an ultimate figure, which means that it has all of the various articulation points that a lot of figures miss. So this one does have a neck swivel, as well as a jaw swivel, back and forth, up and down. A very soft material on the actual coat. It has not only a bending elbow, but also a swivel there. Some minor swivel to the elbows and the shoulders, similar. You get a pretty good range of motion on that as well, with the sculpt the way it is. So very happy with that. And then as you move down the arm, you have the wrist, both pivot and swivel. So he has that. And then we'll get into the different hands that it comes with as well. Hips can flay out, and a lot of good range of motion there as well, especially considering how bulky this figure is. It's got your knee bend as well as the swivel there. And then, as is typical with most NECAs, you have not only the up-down motion on the boot, but also a swivel left and right a little bit, with a little bit of range of motion. As you can see, you get pretty good movement on that both ways. From the back, the sculpt looks very authentic, very clean, and I realize that I'm going to be much more critical because of my love of the Frankenstein monster than a lot of people, but overall, I would say that they did a great job with articulation while not encumbering the overall aesthetic of the figure, the look of the figure. Now, one of the other characteristics of an ultimate figure is that it usually comes with multiple accessories and head sculpts, and this one is no different there. It actually has 3 different head sculpts. This one is like a snarling. He had the same exact face on when he met up with Elizabeth before her wedding. He gave her that nice little snarl. The other one is a much angrier looking grimace. And this one is much like the one where Fritz is beating him and threatening him with the torch. So you have that one, and then of course the regular face that's on there is the static face. We also have different hand sets. Now, the thing that's incredible about these, and I'm going to try to get them in focus, and we'll add photos as well, but the thing that is amazing about these hands is they are designed to hold, obviously, the daisies that are in there, but they definitely mimic the pantomime quality that Karloff had, because he could really tell a lot with his hands through the story of just pantomime. So this has that delicate nature, and they are finished throughout on both sides. Just really, really well done. And then these are more of a monstrous hand, like a grabby hand, that they have two of those similarly. And then, of course, we do have the two daisies, which I think that this was a nice touch, because if anyone has seen Frankenstein 1931, you'll remember that he took these daisies he was playing with little Maria and mistaked her for the simplicity and the beauty of the daisy and tried to throw her into the lake. Well, it gives you two daisies and one daisy, so you can decide how you want to display him. And then it also comes with shackles, probably for the grimace scene where he's being beaten by Fritz. I always hate to display the monster with the chains, because I feel that he was a very misunderstood monster, and I know I'm being a little bit too deep there, but you know. One thing I do want to point out, because Randy Falk is um, an amazing director of development on these figures. I noticed on the credits on the box they also added another name, Stefan Folkins, which I hadn't heard of that one before. But I also want to point out the paints on this. John Wardell and Geofrey Trapp, they did a beautiful job in getting a very nice color for the Frankenstein, very rich. You know, there's detail throughout as far as the subtle colors. I know that there's slight variance between what you're seeing here and what we saw on the prototypes, but as far as the gloss on the wound and the eyes, there's a lot of detail here that you don't really get to see unless you're looking up close and personal. But again, we'll take a look at some more details in the shots, the individual photos. But I mean, this paint job is absolutely exquisite. I know that this is supposed to be an exclusive to Walmart, at least for the time being, with it being color. I'd be interested to see the silver screen versions, but I'd be happy if they released every one of them in these beautiful, beautiful colors. And there is, you know, continuity throughout as far as the different heads, but the paint job itself is very, very similar and so right on with the look of the character. So there you have it, Monster Kids. The new Ultimate Frankenstein's Monster from NECA. Currently an exclusive at Walmart, but hopefully it'll be opened up for wider distribution after that. This figure is now currently $29.95. Readily available, I guess, at most stores. You definitely want to check quantities before you head out, but sometimes the thrill is in the hunt. But overall, I would give this very, very high ratings. You know, as far as the appeal, the classic monster look, the price point for what you're getting, beautiful box, great articulation. This is definitely one to grab. It is a 7-inch scale, so it's a little bit smaller than the old Sideshow figures, but all in all, this is a beautiful addition to any Monster Kids collection. Hey Monster Kids, thanks for hanging out for another episode of Monster Manor. Do us a favor though and hit the bell to get reminders of when we add new content. Subscribe to our channel, and while you're waiting for new shows, check out our website at www.monstermanor1313.com. New content at least every other week, sometimes even more often. Like and follow our Facebook page as well for other content. And lastly, if you want to help us out, check out our Patreon under Monster Manor with Scott Fenster. Thanks for hanging out until the end.